Please subscribe to Bear Nerd Fun. Smash the like button. Goodbye.
Hail to all. Well, hail to all. How's everyone doing? This is Bear at Bear Nerd Fun. Well, I found an article that's talking about Lethal Weapon 5. Well, they've been talking about this since 2017, and apparently, according to MovieWeb, and there's a couple other places that are doing this, that are writing articles about it. Well, you know, Martin Riggs in the first Lethal Weapon, you know, he was a risk taker. He was known as a Lethal Weapon. His new partner was Roger Murtaugh, and basically he was a conservative detective with a solid reputation. And so they were forced to form an alliance together in the first movie. And they began to unravel a suicide, which turned out to be a murder. And that movie is a great movie. If you haven't seen that movie, you should go see it. Oh, and there is director cuts. I have director cut to the 2, 3, and 4. I don't think I have the director's cut to the 1. I don't know if they made one yet. But in Lethal Weapon 2, you know, they got back together. Basically, they were a volatile pair of Los Angeles police detectives with a completely opposite law enforcement styles. You know, they were completely different night to day. And so they had to have an unhappy babysitting assignment that most police would call. And they were babysitting basically an accountant that basically was an accountant for the mob. So the mob wants the accountant dead, and they're willing to kill anybody who gets in their way to get this guy dead. Yeah, it was a great movie. And that's, who is that? Oh, what's his annoying squeaky guy in there? Yes, Leo Getz. Yeah, that character. He was a funny character in that show. And you know, of course, we got Lethal Weapon 3, where Roger Murtaugh is only 8 days away from retirement, and his partner Martin Riggs once again manages to get them into some steaming boatload of trouble. Yeah, and they gets them both in the hot water. And boy, you know, they got a boss that pretty much yells at the top of his lungs, and they just laugh at him and don't take him serious. So basically, Leo Getz is this accountant, and they're trying to protect this guy. Yep. Basically a blockbuster action comedy. Yeah, the first one I found the director's cut. I haven't been able to find the director's cut to 2, but I have the director's cut in 3. Can't remember if I have the director's cut in 4. I'd have to look. I got a couple hard copies of the director cuts, but I don't remember which ones I have. So of course, you know, we got Lethal Weapon 3. Murtaugh is only 8 days away. Well, wait a minute. Scratch that. Well, shit. Roger Murtaugh is only 8 days away from retirement. His partner, Martin Riggs, once again managed to get them both into a steaming boatload of hot water. Well, they're both with LAPD, and they've managed to piss off the bad guys, and this time, they're Jack Travis and the gang selling armor-piercing bullets. That's the theme of this particular movie. And to quote Fred Tropel from We Live Entertainment, while I love Sarah Connor and Ripley before her, Lorna Cole became the #1 heroine I'd wish to save me as a dude in distress. Yeah, who wouldn't want to be saved by that chick in that movie, man? That was an awesome role. I agree, for sure. So, in Lethal Weapon 4, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, they return as the buddy cops, Riggs and Murtaugh, and with Joe Pesci riding comedy shotgun as a chatterbox Leo. You know, Leo's always talking and chattering away. Murtaugh is still the family man, and Riggs is, of course, now a family man. And his marriage to Cole, Renee Russo, who plays her character, is one of the new wrinkles in this powerhouse crowd pleaser. So this sequel involves an action-packed battle with a Chinese gang lord. I do believe Jet Li. Yeah, Jet Li plays in this movie. Great piece. So now, let's get to the article segment. Well, hail to all. This is Bear at Bear Nerd Fun, and this is the article segment of this video. Lethal Weapon 5 confirmed with original cast and director returning by Ryan Scott, MovieWeb.com. Lethal Weapon 5 is still happening, and original director Richard Donner, as well as stars Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, are set to return. The iconic buddy cop franchise has been dormant for more than 20 years. The Lethal Weapon 4 hitting theaters back in 1998. Hey, 1998. I think Rush Hour hit theaters in 98 too. I'll get back to you on that. There has been much discussion, but little movement regarding another installment for some time. Yeah, they've been talking about it since 2017. Going back on MovieWeb articles they've made here. Now, producer Dan Lin has provided an update and things seem rather promising. Dan Lin recently appeared as a guest during a roundtable discussion that featured several other top producers in Hollywood. At one point, the subject of Lethal Weapon 5 came up. Lin revealed that the plan is to still have Richard Donner come back as well as the original cast. They're just trying to sort out the script. Here's what he had to say about it. Quote, "We're trying to make the last Lethal Weapon movie, and Dick Donner's coming back. The original cast is coming back, and it's just amazing. The story is very personal to him. Mel and Danny are ready to go, so it's about the script." When last we heard, officially anyway, Richard Donner, who turns 90 this year, was speaking on the episode of Gilbert Gottfried. Wow, I didn't realize he was 90. Goodness. Gilbert Gottfried's amazing, colossal podcast, and promised that the sequel was on the way. Donner, who directed all 4 previous installments, hasn't helmed a movie since 2006, 16 Blocks, so having him come back would be quite a big deal. But much like Roger Murtaugh, Donner may be getting too old for this shit, if the studio doesn't make it happen sooner rather than later. Danny Glover has been working steadily in the years since Lethal Weapon 4, having recently appeared in Jumanji: The Next Level. Mel Gibson, meanwhile, has been making something of a muted comeback, which started with his directorial return, Hacksaw Ridge. Man, I got that movie. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you should probably check it out, man. Bloody, very bloody, though. To warn you there. Back to the article. He's also appeared in movies such as last year's Dragged Across Concrete. Seen that one too. Good movie. Gibson was largely ousted from Hollywood following an anti-Semitic rant he made in the early 2000s that was highly publicized. Yeah, he was doxxed as well. Yeah, someone said they had the receipts on him and stuff like that. Someone never tells you they got the receipts. Yeah, you know what that means. So, one of the wild cards here could be Joe Pesci, who first appeared as Leo Getz, the funny, lovable, laughable Leo Getz. Back to the article. In the second installment, Pesci recently came out of retirement for Martin Scorsese's The Irishman. Could he also be persuaded for one more ride with Riggs and Murtaugh by Donner? Shane Black, the Predator, Iron Man 3, wrote the original Lethal Weapon, which went on to become a huge hit, ultimately spawning 3 sequels. It isn't clear at this time who is working on the screenplay, but one has to wonder if the studio would try to get Black involved in a meaningful way. The 4 movies have grossed a combined $952 million at the global box office, with each entry grossing more than its predecessor. A TV series based off the movies was produced by Fox and aired for 3 seasons. Be sure to check out the full conversation from the Hollywood Reporter on YouTube channel. So there you have it, folks. We may just be getting a Lethal Weapon 5, and I hope it's just kick-ass. Yeah. Hail to the Fandom Menace, and remember, we do not kneel. Hail. Remember, when you go woke, you go broke. Go.
Please subscribe to Bear Nerd Fun. Smash the like button. Goodbye.
Say hello. Hello. Say hello. Say nerd fun. Nerd fun. Nerd fun. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Hail to the